And I would say, you know, if you want to kind of chase the thinness, it's not a bad thing. You know, make that kind of part of your journey, not like the entire goal. You'll get there. If you gradually, if you're throwing with the same weight clay, if you're aiming for the same size pieces, it will get more efficient each time you throw. If I throw that exact same cylinder again, the next one will be a little bit taller, probably a little bit wider, and a little bit thinner. I'll dial it in. It takes about 3 to 5 pieces. If I'm sitting down to do a lot of throwing, the first 3, I toss them. They're just warm up. Haven't thrown anything else today. This is a warm up basically. So not gonna sweat it. Pretty much that's it. Another little tip for you before we sign off on this demo. When you're not throwing on the wheel, just put your sponge on that. Keeps this damp, so when you come back, you can still stick to it. Don't clean it off if you think you're gonna be coming back to work. And just as far as like, kind of like how you're scheduling or arranging your day for working, when I come into the studio, the first thing that I do is check all my pots from the previous sessions, see if anything needs to be unwrapped so it can dry while I'm working. Then I throw at the beginning so that those pieces can then be drying while I then do my finishing or decorating work on the previous day's work, or if I have anything like glazing to get to. So generally, throwing is done when I'm fresh, and the finishing work is done later in the day. A lot of wheel throwing, this is physical, and it's important that if you're going to do this as a living or in some kind of production capacity, that you have other options and you have things that you can do when you have days where you're having problems throwing. When we did a lot of wheel throwing, we make as many as 300 to 400 pieces a week, and there were points where our wrists would go. We'd have to tape our wrists to keep them rigid. Your hands will just ache. So there's going to be days, it's like any physical activity. There's days where you're not feeling it. It's not easy to do. It's nice if you don't make your days nothing but throwing, and then the next day, nothing but finishing. Your finishing is going to always take longer than your throwing, or it should. Actually, I'll leave you on this thought. What you want to do is triple the amount of time at each stage when you're working. If it takes me 3 minutes to throw this mug, it should take me at least 9 to 10 minutes to trim it, finish it, put a handle on it. Then it should take 30 minutes to glaze. If I increase the amount of time that I'm spending on it, the amount of time that I commit to it, it's easier for me to take a weak piece and make it great. If you do the opposite, and you're throwing a piece in 3 minutes, you slap a handle on it in 1 minute, and you dunk it in a bucket of glaze in 30 seconds, you can take a decent pot and trash it down the road. So you've got some investment in time with these things. Put more time into it and give yourself a chance to use every stage as an opportunity to learn another thing. You need to practice handles. You need to practice trimming. You need to practice glazing. Don't leave off those stages because at first they're hard. When you get down the line a year, 2 years out, and you're making pots you really love, don't let that be the first time that you're thinking about trimming or finishing or decorating or handles, because now you're going to have pieces you care about that you're putting lousy handles on. So put your lousy handles on your weaker work up front when you're learning everything. All right, I'll leave you at that. And next time we will talk about bowls probably. So thanks for tuning in.